Hey there, I'm G, and welcome to the next level. Now it's time for something a little different today, people. I've got this mystery box here, and I'm sure you're probably all wondering, what's in the box? So before I get into the box, let's hear a little bit of history behind it. So on Facebook, I'm part of this sales group that actually specializes in retro games that are within Asian countries, whether it be Hong Kong, Japan, or China. They get the games at a super cheap price, and you buy them and they ship them to you in America. And you can either buy them as one-offs, or you can build a box. And depending on how many games you actually stuff in the box, or if you hit a certain price threshold, they'll then ship the games out to you. And this guy, he does an amazing job of getting games, you know, provided you can get them. It's a competitive market. But this is my first actual box. And it's not the first time I've bought something from this guy, but this is the first full-on box that I've bought. So, you know what? Let's not waste any more time. So let's dig right in. So yeah, let's go. Let's go ahead and crack this bad boy open. Funny thing is that Jenny was wondering, and she sent me a text message earlier today, and she was just like, hey, you got a package from Hong Kong. What's up with that? I was like, oh, I've been waiting for this for a long time, and hopefully this will be the first of many. So we'll see how the rest of this goes. Yeah, he packed it real nice. Oh, he shipped it super quick too, by the way. So kudos to him on that. So let's dig in. There's bubble wrap here. All right, so I wasn't expecting that. Good thing, mind you. So the first thing in the box, so this is, actually, I didn't buy this so much for me as I did for my wife, because my wife is a bigger fan of the Tales of RPG series than I am, and there's one series that never came out to America, and when I saw this in the group, I had to go and get it, more for her than it is for me, and this is Tales of Versus. Now, I believe this is only the first, and I think there's, what, 2 or 3 more of them? Feel free to let me know how many of them are in the comments, but of course it has her favorite character from the Tales of series, which is Yuri from Tales of Vesperia, which is, in my opinion, the best game in the Tales of series too. So I'm actually really digging how the fact that it has so many different characters from the Tales of series, Tales of Abyss, Tales of Legendia, Tales of Destiny, Tales of Destiny 2. There's so many characters that are in here. Yeah, I'm dying to dig into this one, so, and I know my wife's gonna love it. All right, next up, I remember reading about this one back in, remember Die Hard Game Fan? You know, the magazine back in the day? I was a big fan of Die Hard Game Fan, and I remember reading about this game, and it's by Hudson Soft. It's Willy Wombat on the Saturn. Now, this one also never came to America. It's a top-down action puzzle / platforming game that used 3D polygons as well as 2D sprites. And I always was kind of confused as to why, you know, because given this, when did this game come out? This game came out in, well, I'm going to say it's like in the mid-90s, like whenever this game actually came out. This was in the bereft of like mascots and mania, I mean, between Sonic the Hedgehog, Mario, Bubsy, Jersey Devil, whatever. There's so many different mascot-style characters. I wonder why this game never actually came out, and it's strange that it never did, but hey, I'm thrilled to get into this game too, so that's badass. I love it. Next up, if there's one game that really hurts me to this day that on my Saturn collection I still don't have an actual copy of, is Saturn Bomberman. I have the Japanese version, mind you, and it plays just fine because I have the Action Replay Plus, so I can play Japanese games on my Saturn, but I never actually have a full-on copy of US Saturn Bomberman, and I will get it someday, but this was one of the 3 Saturn Bomberman games that actually came out. The only one that came out in America was the traditional multiplayer Bomberman. This one is known as Saturn Bomberman Fight. This one is a one-on-one fighting game by Bomberman, and how it's done is it's done in an isometric plane. It plays similar to Bomberman in that style, but it's really cool because you can use the environments to your advantage, whether it be at a higher plane or a lower plane. At least that's the gist of it that I've gotten to it. I've never played it, but I'm just like, I am absolutely thrilled to have this in my collection because I have the Japanese one of the original Saturn Bomberman. I have Bomberman Wars, which is the Bomberman action RPG that also never came out to America, but this was the last one that I needed, so thank you for that. Now, this is funny, because I guess maybe he decided to give this to me as like a bonus prize, because this game, F1 Circus, this is a F1 racing game for the PC Engine. And I put this on my list, and then I was trying to save a little bit on cost to make sure that my box tab didn't get too big, so I asked him, I was like, oh hey, you know what, I don't really need this one as much anymore, and it was a cheaper title out of it, but I guess he decided to pack it in anyway. So yeah, it's a Formula 1 racing game for the PC Engine, and I heard it was quite good, so I decided to give it a shot. Why not? Hey, thanks for the bonus. Now, another thing that I know you all know that I love me a good shmup. And what's one of the best side-scrolling shmup series out there? Darius. I absolutely love Darius, all the way from the original Darius up to Darius Burst CS. I absolutely love the Darius series. And when I heard that there actually are a couple of Darius games on the PC Engine, I went ahead and snapped this one up. This one is Super Darius. This one actually is for the PC Engine CD-ROM add-on system, and thankfully the CD-ROMs don't have any kind of region locking, so you can play them on any TurboGrafx or PC Engine CD system. And it was done by NEC Avenue. It was a port of the arcade Super Darius, and also when I heard it's a absolutely fantastic port. There's one thing I know about the PC Engine. NEC Avenue is pretty solid. Almost everything they do is just completely rock solid. So one of the goals that I want to get is I want to get all of the Sega NEC ports that never made it to America, because I think the only NEC Avenue Sega ports that made it to America were Fantasy Zone and Space Harrier, I think, which I have Space Harrier, but I believe those are the only ones. But yes, I want to get more of those someday, and yeah, I'm dying to dig into Super Darius here. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Now, the other Darius games that came out, I know there were a few others that came out for the PC Engine, one of which is Darius Plus and Darius Alpha, and I'm looking out for that. Darius Alpha, not so much, because it is incredibly expensive, so I'm not really worried about that. But yeah, dying to dig into this. So speaking of NEC Avenue, I got two more in the box, and here's the first one. And this one's also for the CD-ROM. Now, I'm looking for, there actually is a HuCard version of this one too, and I'm looking for it as well, but they only had the CD one up so far, so I managed to pick the CD version. You all know what this is, people. Altered Beast, Wise from Your Grave. Now, I have barely seen anything about the NEC versions, aside from a few other YouTubers' videos I've seen, like Kim Justice, who did an awesome Altered Beast retrospective. And so I'm looking to get all of the different versions of Altered Beast. Maybe I'll do an Altered Beast video someday. In fact, a certain voice actress actually asked me to make an Altered Beast video. Thank you, Lisa. But someday I will do it, and I will definitely touch on this one in that video as well. So, awesome. And here's the third NEC Avenue game out of the lot, and this is Afterburner 2. Now, I completely understand why this game never made it to America. This one I have played. The port on it is absolutely outstanding. It is almost arcade perfect. I mean, even more so than the 32X version of Afterburner. They did a wonderful job on it. So when a company like NEC decides to make a port of a Sega game that's better than the port that's on the Sega Genesis, which is a supposedly more powerful system, yeah, is there any wonder why this game never came to America? But I'm thrilled to have it in my collection, thrilled to fire it up, and fire! Yes, I love Afterburner, and this is going to be sweet. Yeah, don't judge, don't hate, it's Fighting Street. Also known as the original Street Fighter to a lot of you out there now. Fighting Street did make it to America, but that game has gotten kind of really pricey now, considering that it's really not all that great. But this was just something that I happened to find in the group, and he had a really great price. So I was just like, hey, you know what? Why not? It's Fighting Street. What else more can I say?
Don't forget the many gods I do all over the world.
Here's one of the sweetest picks out of the entire group in this box, and this is Spriggan Mark II, also for the PC Engine CD-ROM. Now, I also have the original Spriggan, thanks to my buddy Joel, the Atari Jack Junkie. He hooked me up with a copy of it when I bought his TurboGrafx set. But this one is a little bit different from the original. The original was a top-down shmup, similar to Musha or Space Megaforce or Robo-Aleste. It was similar to all of those games, but this one is a side-scroller. So they decided to take things and change things up and make it more of a side-scroller instead. I heard it's really, really good as well. The soundtrack is amazing, just like the first Spriggan, and it's definitely worth it. This one was a little bit pricier than many of the other games I got out of this box, but I have this gut feeling it's going to be totally worth it. And if there's one thing that PC Engine does amazing, it's shmups. Speaking of shmups, last but not least for the PC Engine, I got Heavy Unit by Taito. This one also never came to America, and I'm a sucker for Taito. Pretty much anything Taito made, except for maybe like Rastan Saga 2. Pretty much everything that they make, I have absolutely loved. And when I saw this in there, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go for this one, because it's another wonderful looking shmup for the system. And again, I'm a sucker for shmups, sucker for Taito, so I had to have it. We'll see how this goes. Next, we got another game that never came to America, and I'm not really sure as the full-on reasons why. Maybe it was translations, maybe it was licensing, maybe not, but Namco x Capcom. Now, of course, with this one, it's all going to be in Japanese. I can't read Japanese, but thankfully there is a fan translation out there. So when I am ready to play it, I'm going to fire up that fan translation and play that one. But it's just pretty sweet to see in the collection. I do love the fact that it actually has a little player's manual, a little guide to come with it. This is really, really cool, and I've always wanted to play this game. I remember seeing this in magazines back in the day, and I was just sad that it never came to America. But now I finally got it, so I'll give it a shot. I just now noticed something too, like looking at all the characters that are on the cover of this game, and here's a shot of the box right now. Out of all the characters that you see on the cover of this game, I just now noticed, look at that, look at the bottom right corner. Look at that is. It's Klonoa. I didn't even know he was in this game. I love Klonoa. So that's freaking great. I can't wait to try it. And the last two treasures in this box, I'm gonna go ahead and pull out together. And that's going to be this. Now the timing on this couldn't be any more perfect, because on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, I just made a post about Virtual On 4 for the 360 and the collector's edition and how wonderful it is. So this to go with my Virtual On collection. This is the Sega Ages 2500 collection of Virtual On and a Virtual On technical manual. This is awesome, because in Japan there's a whole set of games from the Sega Ages 2500 series. They were either ports of their classic games, or they were 3D reimaginings of games that they were done for the PS2. Some were great, some were not, but it's still really cool to see them all the same. In America, if you look for the Sega Classics collection on the PS2, you'll find 10 out of those 34, I believe it was 34 games. This is number 31 out of all the Sega Ages collection games. And with Virtual On, it's a port of the arcade game, including a Chibichara mode. Quite cool. And yeah, this is really, really nice. Someday, and I know they're starting to get up there in price too, someday I'm going to get all the Sega Ages 2500s. The one I want especially is the Fantasy Zone Complete Collection. I really want that one, the Virtua Racing one. There's so many great ones that I want, and someday I want to get all of them. So here's another step in the right direction. And the technical manual, this was actually, it looks to me like it was a add-on to go with the Sega Saturn release of the game. So it shows like all these awesome little art pieces of it, showing you about all the different characters. Where's my favorite here? I can get to my favorite character, because I loved Virtual On in the arcade. I loved it so much. And just imagine that as a kid, getting into that dock and sitting with the twin sticks, and you're feeling like that you're really in control of this giant mecha robot. It is so freaking great. It's just such a shame that Sega kind of let it die until recently, because now we got the new Certain Magical Index and Virtual On crossover that I think it just came out actually for PS4 and for Vita. Lord knows if it's going to come to America. I hope it does, but and I will pre-order, and I will have that day one when it does. Because Virtual On, I might not talk about it a whole lot, but it is one of my favorite Sega franchises. And when I saw this book, I had to have it. Oh well, there it is. It's like, who said the soldier is not the occupation for woman? This girl really knows the knack of fighting. Gotta love that English translation. Of course it's Fei Yan, and that's my favorite character out of the game. Every character was awesome and just a joy to play in this game, and yeah, I love Virtual On. This is wonderful to have in the collection. So yeah, what a haul, right? I mean, that's just awesome how many games that I got for such a great price. So I really want to give big kudos to Stefan, the man behind the group that really made it all happen. I'm thrilled that I got it. I'm happy that I got it so quickly. And yeah, I'm really eager to dig into some of these games. And so what do you think? I mean, did you really like seeing this? Do you want to see more what's in the box videos? Because I'm more than positive this is not the last box that's going to happen from that group. In fact, I've already started a second box, so yeah. But hey, if you enjoyed this, let me know in the comments what you liked, what you didn't like, and of course, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't yet, and you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at G to the next level. And as always, peeps, keep on gaming and keep being awesome. I'm G, and I'll see you on the next level. Really? Really? It's just all over now. Don't you sass me.